everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. We've got the Dodge Caliber in the shop and we're going to be making a few videos about it. I've got lots of stuff to do on that. First off, I want to get something cleared up right off the bat. This is going to be a hodgepodge of videos because there's I have to jump around a bit. So you'll see some videos that I do, you'll say, didn't he already have that all apart? But anyway, it's just because I'm showing a few different things. It's going to kind of hop around a little bit. But in the end, it'll all make sense. What we've got to do is, what we're going to start in this video is replacing all the bolt-on body panels except the hood and the hatch. So that'll be 4 doors and 2 fenders. We already replaced the hatch a long time ago. By the time we're done, the only original panels on this car are going to be the hood and the roof. And I noticed the hood's starting to get a little crusty across the front, so it might not be on there for long anyway. As long as I can keep finding silver Dodge Calibers in the junkyard with good body panels, we'll keep changing them till there's no rust at all on this car anywhere. Also, what we have to do, I'll try and squeeze this all into one video, but we'll see how it goes. It needs spark plugs, an air filter. We're gonna put some mechanic in a can in the gas. It needs a brake job, and we're gonna put the snow tires on it. And also, we're going to relocate the relay box that's in the front fender because it's giving trouble again. I already started another video about that. It'll probably be the first video in this series. Anyway, what I'm gonna do now is get started pulling all the bolt-on panels off of this car. So we'll get going now. You can see here, rust never sleeps. So it's taken me a couple of years to gather all these panels up because when you go to the junkyard, panels the wrong color are the same price as panels the right color. So I just bide my time and I'm patient and I look for panels the right color. What we will have to deal with, some of them have painted door handles, some of them have black handles, some of them have this stuff, some of them don't. We'll deal with that as we go. Some of them have the dark door panels like our car has, some of them has the light ones, but that's all, you know, easy peasy stuff to fix. This door is the worst one of the batch. It's shot. Bottom's all rotted out of it. What are you going to do? I never oil sprayed this car because honestly, I had no idea that it would be around this long. I thought it would be like all our other cars, you know, 3 or 4 years and then trade it in and get something else. But in the end, we just love this little car so much. We do what we have to do to keep it going no matter what. So first thing we're going to do is pull the nose off and we'll work our way back. Nose, fenders, front doors, back doors. Just like that, the front doors are off. Now we'll do the same job and get the back doors off. Now I'm going to go ahead and start hanging our new doors on. They go on quite easily. You just kind of you hold them up and you line up the bolts and the hinges and you latch the latch and then you put your 4 nuts on. It's pretty easy. We've got our back doors on. Now we're just going to make sure they open and close nicely. That one's perfect. The other one, I think that it needs just a little tweak on the striker. We'll go check it out. So on this door, we're just going to tap the striker down just a hair. And I think that'll get us what we need. Let's find out. Yep. That door closes nicely now. The last door we're going to put on is the left front, and this one needed a little bit of work. When I found it at the wrecking yard, the weather strip had all been pulled off of it, and it's held on with little clips. Luckily, we were very careful, and we got all the little clips back out of the door, inserted into the rubber, and snapped it back on. The other thing that was wrong with this door was that these two studs are welded into a plate, and it hadn't been tack welded into the door properly from the factory. So when I took the nuts off, it fell in. So I had to take the door panel off to retrieve that. I put it in with a couple of rivets. It's not going anywhere now. And on top of that, the door panel had to come off anyway, because even though it's the same as our door panel, this one was really gross. So we'll swap our door panel onto it. But on these Dodge calipers, I mean, the door, it's not like an old school car. I've never seen anything like this. The door panel is literally almost a structural part of the door. It was quite an undertaking to get it off. But at least I learned how to get it off on that scrap one. And what I've learned, I won't wreck our good one. That's our last door installed. Other things we have to do on this door is it's got some aftermarket tint. We have to get our steamer out and remove that. And this one is the only door that did not have the lower molding. Our original doors had moldings. They're chrome. And just by the luck of the draw, 3 of the doors that we have body colored moldings on. So rather than take the 4 chrome ones off and try to put them on, I just went to the Boneyard. Where is it? And got a color keyed silver one that we'll just put some adhesive on this and stick it on this door like that, so they'll all match. I'm stripping down the old doors for useful parts. You can see how rotten they were. Pretty bad along that seam there. So we got, the window regulator, the switches, the glass, all that stuff. You never know what you might need. And then just the rusty shells can go in the scrap bin. Last thing I'm going to do is cut out my old VIN decal from our old door. And I'm either going to rivet it over top of the one on this door, or we'll come up with some other plan. But I just like to have it with me. It's the one that belongs to the car. Good heavens, what a mess. All 4 doors are stripped down. I got my hunket door with my VIN tag on it. Now we're going to one by one start going through these doors and getting all the right stuff on them. Our car had body colored door handles, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get used to looking at these. So I'm going to go through all the trouble. I'm going to take all the door panels off and change them. That side, I have to take both door panels off. Anyway, that one's already off, and that one's the wrong color. So I'm only doing 2 doors extra, to tell the truth. Not to mention, these ones here, even though they've got the right colored door panels, they've got these chrome buttons on them, and the chrome is starting to peel. And this stuff, if you've never messed with this chrome plated plastic, when this stuff starts to peel, it will cut you like a razor. So I'll also get rid of those and put our gray buttons in. So let's get started. And as I do this one by one, I'm going to make sure all these doors work. Maybe I'm going to do that before I do anything, eh? So we just go around and make sure all 4 doors, the windows go up and down. Except the driver's one. Damn it, because the tracks aren't installed. Oh well, I'll fix that after. So we solved the mystery of the door lock. I replaced the harness in the junkyard door with the harness from my original door, and now everything works fine. Lock, unlock. So the junkyard harness has a broken wire in it. Pretty common with Chrysler door harnesses. When I get some time, I'll give it an autopsy and see if I can repair it. Next step will be to put our door handle and lock in the left front door, and then we'll swap the door handle on the other 3 also. There's our mirror bolted back on. Now we can go ahead and put on the door panel. So here's this door all done, and it's the hardest door because it's got all the switches and controls in it. Closes nice, opens nice. I got the ignition on. Let's make sure everything works. There goes the mirror. The mirror adjusts. Well, it mostly adjusts. Interesting. Window down. Window up. Well, that was a lot of work, but we've got the doors. The insides of them are all squared away. This one I found in my junk in the shed. A power mirror I'd taken from a car we parted out, and I put it on and it works. So everything works now. Well, I gotta say that looks a whole lot better now. We put the fenders back on. That was all pretty straightforward, just nuts and bolts. The fenders, the nose, it's all buttoned up. The inner fenders are back in. We're all good. What I got to do now is in Ontario, we have a problem. You can see here in the old days, the license plates used to be painted. Then they started putting this like vinyl wrap on them. And here's what happens to them. They start delaminating and then they all shred. It's no problem. They'll give you a new pair for free. But my problem is, this is the only set of plates that's ever been on this car. And if I put a different set of plates on here, it'll take me the rest of my life to try and remember the number. So what we're going to do is I got a pair of covers we're going to put over the plates that will hopefully preserve them for a little longer. And legally, that's kind of a gray area. There are some police officers that will give you a ticket for a license plate cover, but most of the time nobody bothers you. A little rubbing alcohol on a cotton pad, and this all this Sharpie, that's just the stock number from the wrecking yard. Just all comes right off. So we'll go around and get all that off. Now we've got the steam cleaner going, the steamer, and we're going to start heating up this window film and getting it off of this window. Thankfully, there's only one window that has this stuff on it. And unlike the stuff that we peeled off the dually pickup, this stuff looks like a professional job. So we'll see how it comes off in comparison. And there it is, tint no more. Got it all off without leaving a gluey, icky mess behind. Love the steamer. Now it's time to install our missing piece of trim on this side, on this left front door. I've gone ahead and put a piece of tape to use as a guide. I put new adhesive tape on our molding that we got from the wreckers, and we'll just follow the piece of tape and put the thing on, and hopefully we'll get it straight. You just work your way down, following your guide, and you pull the tape out and just slowly kind of stick it on as you go along. And there you can see the finished product. Perfect. Next thing I have to deal with is this stuff. You can see our rear doors have it. Our original doors had this stuff, this blackout trim. And I tried with the steamer to get this stuff off, but it leaves the glue. And I'm quite sure that will not be fun to get that glue off. So what I've decided is, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try just painting this area black to match that. That's like kind of like a semi-gloss. So I got some semi-gloss black paint. I'm going to try and put it on. If I stand back, it does give it a bit of texture, kind of like this. Worst case scenario, I cannot buy this stuff for this car anymore. That like the factory cut pieces are no longer serviced, but I can get the same stuff for like a modern Ram pickup. The pieces are bigger, so I'd have to cut them to fit, but they're like $10 each. My only worry is that it wraps around into where the window seal is there, and that kind of helps hold it. And getting it wrapped around the back here, I'm not quite sure how I would do that. It may take some heat. You know, you get it heated a little bit to make it stick, but I'm kind of worried about doing it at home if I can make that stick and stay. So we're just going to go for it with paint and see what happens. Well, here's the part where we find out what's going to happen. I've got it cleaned up, taped up, scuffed up, and we're going to stand back about 2 feet and just sort of float this paint on and see what happens. It's a semi-gloss acrylic enamel. It's decent paint. We'll see what's going to happen. And we'll just keep it going on like that. Well, it's got one of those nozzles that goes 90 degrees or... that's okay. There. I'll let that tack up a bit because if you get it on too heavy, it will... it'll start flowing and you'll lose your texture. That's perfect. You can see there I've got the texture I was after. It's not too glossy. This stuff was a little more glossy when it was newer, and it's kind of toned down as time went on. But that's very good. I'll let it flash for a minute, and then we'll take the paper off and see what it looks like. Well, you know what they say, if you squint, it's mint. Now that it's all back together, we're going over just with a kind of a quick coat of cleaner wax to get the crud off of these old panels that have been sitting around in the junkyard and get it cleaned up a bit. It's not going to be like a show queen, but it's nice to make it look sort of decent. What's the matter, guys? Is bodywork not your favorite subject? Another thing I've got to do down the line is replace our vent shades that we had on here. I managed to get the original ones off the old doors, but they were really brittle. And when I started manhandling them, trying to clean the adhesive on, the first one broke. So for the price of them, we'll just get a new set and start from scratch. Well, that's looking pretty spiffy, I'd say. That's it. We're done. I cleaned all the windows. It's all ready to go. The last thing we have to do to it, which is not something I do, is it's got an appointment on the 28th to go over and get oil sprayed. It'll probably only be the second time it's been professionally oil sprayed. And then going forward, I guess I'll have to get doing it every year if I want it to last and don't want to do a job like this ever again. Well, that's a wrap on that one. That was quite a long procedure. If you remember back, this body job started about a year ago when we got rear-ended on the 427, and I literally couldn't put the car back together because the quarter panels and the rockers were so rotten. The whole back end of the car literally exploded. So we went to the junkyard and we cut quarter panels and rocker panels off of other cars, and that was the start of this job. Then we spent a good while searching through junkyards trying to find doors and fenders that were the right color so we wouldn't have to paint them. And well, here we are. I don't think I ever want to do this job again. These door panels, it must have been some mad scientist that wanted to get his revenge on all the mechanics in the world when they designed the door panels on these cars. I've never seen anything like it in my life. But at least I know how to do it now. Anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in. Hope you'll come and join us again. And until then, this is Kevin checking out from the Claremont Classic Garage. So long for now.